Hello again. No, I just got back from the Boxtrolls a little bit ago, and I really enjoyed this one. They filmed as a stop motion an animated one produced by Laika, which is based in Portland, which is about a couple hours drive from here in Oregon. And oh yeah, it's definitely been giving me a lot to think about out as an anime film. That's that actually, one part I'm going to tell you about is that don't go into this looking for easy answers because you're not going to find them. Because even in the film's universe, they discuss saying things like the nature of morality between good and evil, and how things are really not all as they appear, especially in a film like this. That especially since if you're trying to identify who's good and who's bad right away, apart from the Boxtrolls as well as the children in the film, don't really expect to, because I guarantee you throughout the entire film you're going to be thrown for a loop that's and the style I chose about to go with this is stop motion animation is also very nicely designed with this whole Victorian motif to it, as well as that everything looks all busy when it moves. That the attention to detail in here is just amazing. Seeing that even the aristocracy have bits of dirt on them, and which makes them try to tell apart since it's actually a very good lesson for the people in the audience, no matter their age. It's at how appearances can deceive. It was how you behave that it ultimately affects you. That's something that exuded throughout the whole film and kept me on the same emotional wavelength for the whole film until its final moments. And then it's definitely enjoyable with that. And the stop motion animation in itself is very top notch. That occasionally they cheated here a few times for things like fire, smoke, and water, with things that typically have to be for that, but most of it is actually quite top notch, especially since it's hard to tell between. Actually harder for some of the members of the audience to tell, I noticed. Turns out most of this was done on 3D printer, which is definitely a new way to do it, since every single set piece, his costume, and character was all done that way. It was all built with one of those 3D printers that we've been experimenting on sometimes. That actually find the idea fascinating, as I do the medium, since this is Studio Pierce produced films I really enjoyed in the past, like Coraline, based on the book by Neil Gaiman, as well as Paranorman. I'd definitely say this is definitely among on the entries, and definitely a far better animated film than the Lego movie. I saw it a while ago, and I'm not sure what people saw in it, to be honest. The animation that one was nice, but this trumps it in every possible way. Yeah, I can say that. That this one is definitely good. I'd want to take your kids to it too if you have any, and also if you so desire to see it on your own, and which it's the medium definitely presents this rich area. Yeah, how you can have so many creative characters and stories. Here's with this whole film, and so to avoid risk of argument, but I guess can't stress enough. I really recommend you see this. So I'm going to render my verdict right now. I'm going to give this film 3.5 stars out of 4 or there, and yeah, I just can't really, it's hard to do a half star with your fingers, but so I'm going to have a cut here. I'm also going to be talking about, again, once another installment trailer time, so there's going to be a lot to talk about. Okay, so it's once again trailer time, and I definitely have to say, hey, this time that now, I'm definitely, with this film, I'm going to be actively encouraging people to take their kids to that, so they do not go see Alexander and a terrible Hulk on Over Very Bad Day, because still, I stress once, I'm not going to be addressing that one any further, since I've been addressed this in previous installment comments when I was in my reviews of Guardians of the Galaxy, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles and sort of things, and because thankfully there's much better things that teens could take them to, as well as go on your own to. First up is going, of course, The Book of Life, which is coming out next week, another film of this type, which has very gothic animation to it, and it is a film about the Day of the Dead. It is animated. It's also being made by George Gutierrez and Sandra Kia. It's also being produced and written by Guillermo del Toro. Oh, that's Oh, and also definitely going to be enjoying that one since I love Mexican animation. Also love the work these people have done with things like El Tigre. Plus, they're working on some of those mad skits as well, which definitely shows off how I'm actually surprised how well the design translated to. I mean, or the animation that's in that. I'm really definitely looking forward to this one. And also, aside from all of that, the dogs, mogs, I mean, okay, so there's also Interstellar, which is also new first by Christopher Nolan. There, his attempt at doing sci-fi in 3D, and still adamant the fact that there's anyone who can revitalize that medium after it's been kind of dry this year, he can. And the cinematography, of course, looks amazing, even though Fight Stories Away from Transcendence, which didn't do all that well. Oh, and so with this coming, I'm definitely going to be enjoying it heartily. Hey, yeah, and also another notable one on it's new trailer of Mockingjay Part 1, which, as I know expected from the book, even though it's just Part 1, it's going to be a big one. And it's going to be massive, which is Part 1 alone, the way they're having everything framed and shot, and means Lionsgate's really come a long way from the Saw movies to be a sort of legitimate studio in just 10 years. I mean, easily making more money with this saga than many entire film studios have made in their whole repertoire, or with Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, and also The Hobbit Battle of Five Armies. He still looks very good, since probably going to offer a belated review of Displacer Smaug, since I want to see it last year, but I was strapped about time and money in that situation, since despite the name change, it definitely looks like it's going to be enjoyable. And once again, I must point out that, unlike Alexander, it's much more justification for Mockingjay and Hopper's book adaptations, because a lot happens in those books. Because, I mean, I'm still quite adamant that with these elements, like making Steve Carell slow when I know can do Wilkins comedy well, when he's well written and he can improvise, as in his version of The Office. As the US version of The Office is very good in that regard. Because why do you keep it? I mean, somehow, when I'm still having trouble suspending disbelief at the fact that the interviewer was not dressed similarly to the interviewee. Since, once again, and why would they talk down an old person? I mean, I think, isn't Shigeru Miyamoto in his 60s? He's aren't the people in charge of Sony and Microsoft's gaming divisions quite experienced? And I mean, when you look at Ken Katarui, Kazuo Hirai, I mean, I don't think Steve Ballmer, Homer, or Peter Moore have hair anymore, man. But I like this. There's also another better Disney film to take them out, too, which is Into the Woods, sort of fairy tale anthology of the Grimm's fairy tales that I gather there were going to be individual films before, but also going to be combined in this one, or what, since anthology genres have kind of been ones that have been lacking lately, and extra parodies, of course, is why Families Movie has pointed out. Since Cloud Atlas didn't do well, on that one, and I'm still thinking about seeing that before I read the book as well, but not before I read the book. And I think with that record Loud Flying, it just makes me want in that exact same trail. I'm sorry, but it just gets to me when they're having something I like and something that I probably won't. So I'm definitely might pick up a copy of that and watch it again, and on Blu-ray. And also now that I think about it, Big Hero 6 might be interesting since but I'm giving priority to Interstellar in November, and we're gonna wait to see what other people think about Big Hero 6, both critically as well as my fellow friends. Anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Leave comments box below. Just go see this movie if you haven't already, and I shall see you later.